Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning to the students of the Barstow School. We'd like to welcome you to our Veterans Day Assembly. At this time, I'd like you to please rise for the presentation of colors. Please post the colors.
Beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all.
Please be seated. Welcome again, especially to our honored guests. At the conclusion of World War I, known at the time as the Great War, an armistice between the Allied nations and Germany went into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Each Veterans Day should be a time when Americans stop and remember the brave men and women who have risked their lives for the United States of America. As Dwight Eisenhower said, it is well for us to pause, to acknowledge our debt to those who paid so large a share of freedom's price. As we stand here in grateful remembrance of the veterans' contributions, we renew our conviction of individual responsibility to live in ways that support the eternal truths upon which this nation was founded and from which flows all its strengths and all its greatnesses. Today, we are here to celebrate our men and women who are serving and who have served in the United States military. It is now my great pleasure to ask our honored guests to please join us on stage. Please join me in thanking them for their service to this country. We have a token of our appreciation to present to our guests today, and I am also happy to recognize our second grade Brownie Troop, who will be joining us on stage in a few moments to present those gifts. At this time, I'd like to read out each of our guests' name, their branch of service. At that time, they will be recognized with a gift. Mr. Don Emley, Navy. Jared English, Navy. Bill Frank, Air Force. Dan Hosfield, Army. John Ingracia, Army. Joe Meyer, Navy. Lee Munsell, Marine Corps. Dexter Paul, Marine Corps. Terry Van Dyke, Army. Daniel White, Navy. Sean Wilson, Marine Corps. Purdby Wright III, Air Force. Let's please recognize our veterans again. Thank you.
Good morning. At this time, we would normally introduce a speaker for the Veterans Day Assembly. Today, we have a different format to present to you as we share stories of the veterans who could not be with us today. A special note of thanks to Mr. Sean Holmes and his work for preparing this piece.
Veterans Day originated as Armistice Day on November 11, 1919, the first anniversary of the end of World War I. Congress passed a resolution in 1926 for an annual observance, and November 11th became a national holiday beginning in 1938. Veterans Day is not to be confused with Memorial Day. Memorial Day is the fourth Monday in May and honors American service members who died in service to their country or as a result of injuries incurred during battle, while Veterans Day pays tribute to all American veterans, living or deceased, but especially gives thanks to living veterans who served their country honorably during war or peacetime.
This Veterans Day, I'm going to be honoring my great-grandfather, Robert Pennington. He was in the Navy Air Corps and served in World War II. He graduated from KU with a law degree and was a city attorney, a judge, and owned his own law practice.
My grandpa was a pilot instructor in the Korean War. He served from 1954 to 1957, and he earned the rank Airman Second Class.
The brave men and women who serve and protect the United States come from all walks of life. They are parents, children, and grandparents.
My grandfather, Ron Finn, was a lieutenant in the Army Air Corps. He trained pilots to fly P-51 Mustangs during World War II. As a result of his service, he was able to attend college and medical school on the GI Bill.
They are friends, neighbors, and co-workers.
I'm going to talk about my grandpa, who served in the Air Force during World War II, overseas and mostly Europe. And he was a navigator on lots of different planes. And also, my uncle was a pilot for medical helicopters in Vietnam War.
And they are an important fabric of their community.
If there was one thing I could say to my grandpa and uncle, I'd definitely tell them thank you for protecting and serving the United States.
It makes me proud to know that my grandfather, even though I never met him, was brave enough to even be involved in World War II.
To me, Veterans Day celebrates America's liberty. It is a time to celebrate our country's freedom and a time to thank fellow Marines, sailors, soldiers, airmen, and coasties for their sacrifices for our country. This country and its citizens are worth it.
My cousin served in Afghanistan. She found a stray dog once, and there was never an animal that she didn't like, and there was never an animal that didn't like her. It's pretty cute. My cousin JJ served in the National Guard, and when I was about 18 months old, I helped make a mural with my parents for him for his birthday. He was turning 21. And then my grandpa served in the infantry for the war in Korea. He didn't want to marry my grandmother until he came back because he wasn't sure he was going to come back. And this is the photo of them saying goodbye.
Hi, we're gonna tell you about our grandpa, James Higgins.
He's a veteran.
He served in the United States Army Reserves from 1950 to 1975.
He made many lasting friends but never saw combat. My grandpa does not like peeling potatoes because he peeled a lot of potatoes in the KP that stands for Kitchen Patrol.
We think it's really cool that our grandpa got to serve the country, got to go to army bases and stuff like that, and we think it's really cool that he was able to do that.
My grandpa on my mother's side, Dwayne McIntyre, was in the Air Force. He went into training right after high school, where he first flew the T-34 and moved along to the T-38 and T-33. He then was enlisted as a second lieutenant and then went through the rankings as first lieutenant, captain, and then ended up retiring as a major.
This is a picture of the aircraft carrier, the USS Oriskany. In this picture, the ship is headed to Vietnam to evacuate the civilians before the start of the war.
This picture is really special to us because our granddad was on the ship when the picture was taken. We never got to meet him, so this is really special to us, and he was a radar man.
This is our grandfather, Pops, and he served in the Korean War and in World War II, and he was in the Army.
This is the Legion of Merit Award. This is the Meritorious Service Medal.
My grandpa was a colonel in the Army. He helped fight polio, and then during his funeral there was 21 gunshots, the folding of the flag, and he earned another medal.
I love Pops.
To all veterans, both past and present, we salute you.
Thank you to veterans everywhere.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you, veterans.
I would like to say thank you to veterans everywhere.
Thank you for serving in the Army. This means a lot to us.
Thank you, veterans.
Thank you, veterans everywhere.
Would you please rise and remain standing for a moment of silence, followed by the playing of taps and the retiring of colors. A moment of silence, please. Honor guard, please retire the colors. At this time, I invite you to join Mr. Dickerson and the chorus singing the Alma Mater. Please be seated. Thank you again to our veterans, to Mr. Dickerson, to the chorus, to Mr. Holmes, everybody who made this event happen. It truly is an honor to have our guests here with us today. At this time, we are going to ask the middle school students to be dismissed out of this back door, please. Little one, we might just have you wait there. Seniors,